Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Thomas. Today we're back here with Food Theory, and today I want to talk to the State Fair because, well, he's about to try some weird fair foods, so we don't have to. So yeah, it's basically those foods at the fair that was like, you saw him like, should I try it? Well, now we're about to see which ones you should avoid, which ones you should try out, all from Matt Pat's own opinion. So, shall we see which ones he recommends? Be sure to like and subscribe for more. Hope you enjoyed. Let's go.
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Food Theory, and welcome to the North Carolina State Fair. Now, the State Fair is a tradition all across America, and what is even more iconic than the State Fair is actually the food that you find at the State Fair. Now, there's multiple members of Team Theorist that have never been to a State Fair before, especially this guy right here, Food Theory Creative Director Santi.
Hello.
Santi, why have you never been to a state fair? What are you doing with your life?
Well, so I grew up overseas, and I didn't grow up somewhere that had states. I grew up on a small island, so.
It is hard to have a state fair when you don't have states. That is very true. So today we're subjecting Santi to his first ever state fair, and what better introduction to all wonderful things fair than subjecting him to some of the strangest, scariest foods that the fair has to offer. I hold in my hand deep-fried peanut butter pickles topped with powdered sugar and chocolate sauce. And that is just one of 20 different foods that we're gonna get through by the end of the day today. Our goal, our mission is to scientifically calculate the single best, scary, weird, fair food that you can get in your local area. How do you feel about that, Santi?
Honestly, I'm terrified, especially now seeing all the different foods that we have around us that we're gonna be trying. I don't know how any of these flavors will work. So I'm really interested in trying them and then seeing why these things might actually work.
So that, my friends, is our goal today. What is the scientifically best fair food for your dollar when you come to the State Fair? So wish us luck. I think we have 5 other foods waiting for us at the picnic table over there that the rest of Team Theorist has gathered for round number 1. It's gonna be a weird, interesting breakfast, let me tell you.
For this gut-punching experience, we tested 15 different iconic dishes, starting with round 1 here in a minute. But obviously, we didn't just dive into this one willy-nilly, eating things like Kirby on vacation. No, we had ourselves a rubric by which we were gonna measure every food to determine the scientifically best one. First and foremost, flavor. This one's pretty obvious, but it's not just about whether it tastes good. There are some foods that are so extreme and so out there that you can only get them at the fair. Extra mega bonus points for any times that you were able to merge flavors together that didn't seem like they should go together at all. Second criteria, portability. Am I gonna be able to eat this while I'm walking around at the fair? And finally, the third part of the formula, barfability. How badly is this gonna make us wanna throw up when we hit the spinny, whirly, twirly rides? It is a fair after all, and if you're not going on the pop-up roller coasters with questionable safety regulations, did you really go to the fair in the first place? So, without any further ado, let's just dive into round 1. Or, in other words, our breakfast.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, breakfast is served. We've got whatever this thing is supposed to be.
This is rattlesnake topped with a venom sauce. Whatever that green thing is apparently the venom of the rattlesnake we're gonna be eating.
Is it really the venom, or is that just a branding thing?
I hope
branding.
Everything that it's not.
The beauty of this episode is I've walked through state fairs for my entire life, and I've always been too scared to try a lot of these extreme foods. Because 1, they sound disgusting, but 2, they're also like expensive. So like, why would I pay for that when I can go, you know, buy like a chicken pita or a steak on a stick instead? So today, we're gonna try out all the things that I've always been too scared to try and see just how good they are. This is chicken?
It looks like it, but it's actually cookie dough. It's
fried cookie dough?
They literally gave us like half the roll of cookie dough. Amazing.
That's dense too.
It has a hefty boy. And then finally, what's this? This looks like a corn dog, but it's clearly not.
Deep fried Snickers.
Oh, deep fried. Oh,
the Snickers. I heard about that.
I like that of everything in front of us. The deep fried Snickers is the thing that's like the least extreme. I like that this is also arranged like, oh, here's our appetizer,
deep fried
pickle, followed by the main course of
deep fried sushi and the rattlesnake.
And then here's your dessert. So,
cookie dough and
without any further ado, Santi, before this
time.
gets cold, really, I want to make sure that we dive into this quickly. Taste, how does it feel in your stomach, and is it gonna make you sick later?
Yeah.
Nom nom. Well, no. I see the gray.
No.
Just, that's a hell no. Okay.
Even when she said it to us, you could tell she was skeptical.
She also made sure not to take accountability for it. She's like, no, the owner made this. I just work here.
I asked her where this came from because it feels like some sort of like pregnancy fever dream. So for taste, what are you getting it out of 10?
A 5.
Because it is the first thing of the day.
Yeah.
It is a solid 3 for me. Sorry.
Yeah, fair.
It's just not working. When it comes to portability, like can I walk around the fair with this?
This is a 1 right now.
Get on it! I gotta say, this is a 7.
What?
7?
I'm not gonna be walking around the park.
Do you not know how to lick your finger? How did you manhandle your pickle? And then lastly, how sick is this gonna make us when we're on a ride? How heavy is it in your stomach?
This is gonna be an 8 for me in heaviness. It has to be for now.
I was gonna say this is probably a 6. I expect if I had more than just like a bite and a half, it would be probably closer to a 7 or 8. Maybe not the most auspicious start in terms of appetizer, but now I love sushi. You love sushi?
I love sushi.
Let's take this talker.
Oh, God.
This is from Raleigh Restaurant Bulgogi. They have restaurants and food trucks outside of the fair, and they've already asked us to coat this in barbecue sauce, and then your assignment is to dip it in the aioli for every bite.
Okay.
Really?
Ladies and gentlemen, just
the
to
aioli
pull back
in every bite
of this shoot, it is 9 a.m. He seems confused.
Well,
I am, but I like it.
Right, it's really good. Okay,
as long as we got a high taste coming in.
If I didn't know that I have 18 more foods to try of varying degrees of disgusting, I would eat this whole thing immediately. This is fantastic. It's on a stick, and not just a stick, a thematic chopstick. We went from a real low to a real high in terms of taste.
So?
What do you say?
I can't put anything at a 10 yet, but it is gonna be a 9 for me.
Right, I was gonna say, like, this is a 9. Portability.
It does sound good.
It's on chopsticks. It's great, and it doesn't fall apart. That's the other thing. It's staying
So
together
a 9?
as we bite into it. 10.
I'd say like 9 again. Probably 10, but like,
10, 9.
you know, this
Cool.
is about as good as you can
And
get. So let's say
barfability?
9. And then lastly, how sick is this gonna make you?
I would put this out of how sick it'll make me, like a 3.
We should get on
a
the same
3.
page about this.
Yes.
So on the sickness scale, is low good or is high good? Because
Low is good, high is bad.
You do realize that by doing that, it's making it incredibly complicated. If 10 is good in 2 categories,
Fair
and
enough.
then 10 is
Fine. So this would be a 7.
7.
Yes.
I agreed.
Fine.
I agree.
We'll do that.
I would say 7 passes the roller coaster test.
Yeah.
Really solid. This
Yeah.
is so good.
Okay, cool,
Oh
cool.
man, I'm already so hyped about this. We are already starting at such a high. This is fantastic.
Woo!
Now, let's move
Now
on to
for
I think
the-
maybe the dark horse of round 1
Rattlesnake?
here,
Oh, yeah.
which
Right.
is the rattlesnake corn dog.
Spoiler alert, it was not the dark horse. It was fine, but it didn't really have the bite that I expected out of rattlesnake.
In terms of taste, I'd say maybe a 3.
I was gonna say a 2.
In terms of portability,
3, 2, stick.
easy win.
Corn dog.
I think that's,
Yeah.
corn dog, it's on a stick. That's like probably
Easy,
solid
easy.
9, just like the sushi roll.
Yeah, I would give it a 9 as well.
And then
Nines
in
again?
terms of making me sick, does it pass the roller coaster test?
I think it does solely on the principle of it being so mild.
Yeah, probably about like a 5.
I would give it a 6.
So with our appetizer and main course out of the way for breakfast, and reminder, this is just breakfast. There
Yeah,
are still
round
15 more foods coming down the pipe and probably coming back up the pipe eventually. We've got ourselves dessert round 1. This is what I initially thought was chicken, but is in reality cookie dough covered in white chocolate with maple bacon. And oh boy,
Maple
they did not skimp on proportions, let me tell you. The cloudy white goo just slowly blowing in the breeze really gives me a lot of confidence on this one.
Well,
No, you had
no
me until
dice.
you lost me. Let me take you on my little flavor.
Until you lost
I'm
me.
eating cookie dough, and it's publicly acceptable. This is great. It's like a snickerdoodle cookie dough. Delicious, wonderful. And then eventually, my teeth found the bacon, and all of a sudden, my
So,
delightful
no
little
cookie dough
rough
with bacon.
cookie dough
Got it.
land became an awkward, chewy, gummy, meaty moment, and all the joy and love that I had in my heart for this dish went out the window.
As soon as you bite into it, it's the same thing. I loved cookie dough. I was like, oh, okay. But then there are like white chocolate chips
What are
in
those
there.
behind
That
them?
mixed with the
Like the
bacon in my
standees?
mouth was just
those
weird.
like
And there's like a
state-
weird
like
bitterness that the
officials?
bacon
I don't
gives
know.
it. No, none of this.
It is sticky. It is
So cookie
gooey,
dough and
it is salty
bacon
and meaty.
just don't work.
It is none of the adjectives that you really want while walking around the fair.
So if
From
we're getting
a
a low,
textural standpoint, not
guess
great.
we're gonna
From
have a low
flavor
taste here.
standpoint, not great. If you
Portability,
have like a cookie dough on a
close,
stick
I think?
option near you, just go with the cookie dough. Don't complicate it. This is one of
Yeah,
those ones
true.
that I think falls into the trap of overcomplicating it for the sake of being like interesting or different.
Absolutely.
In terms of taste,
I'm gonna give it a 3.
I think I liked it a little bit more. I'd bump it up to a 5, but the bacon just brought it down. Portability.
So yes, it's on a stick, but I'm gonna give it a 2 because of how much
Yeah, it
the
melts.
bacon falls down. Look at that white chocolate sauce going all over your hands and the wind everywhere. You're gonna
Yeah.
have slap people behind you with it. This is definitely gonna be a 2.
Yeah, this is a 2, because also the cookie dough isn't frozen enough or solid enough to hold its shape. And so it's like sliding all around the stick as I kind of go.
And considering like state fairs are usually summer, that ain't gonna last long.
How sick is this gonna make you?
Cookie dough already by itself can make you pretty sick. Gonna give this a 3.
I'm gonna say that's a 4 as well, just because it's lighter, but at the same time the flavor is not
for the cookie dough.
Sit well once I'm up there.
Oh boy, we went downhill real fast there. To be honest, it didn't get much better with the deep fried Snickers bar that we tried last, even though that was an experience for Santi.
I don't know what to expect and I'm scared.
This is it. This is the dream.
I don't even need Snickers.
Shove that dream in your mouth and take a big old bite.
His body's like rejecting it. Just like,
I don't want it. I don't like it. Snickers by themselves are already fairly chewy and sticky. But then with the corn dog or with the dough around it, the dough just falls away. Really all I'm eating is Snickers with extra calories.
Welcome to the fair.
I'm gonna give it a 5, because like,
Okay,
you know, it's not
taste.
bad, but it's also not mind-blowing, it's just Snickers.
In terms of taste, 5 right down the middle. There's nothing special about it, but there's also
it's
nothing
just Snickers
like
with dough.
bad
Not
about
gonna
it.
help.
So I'd give that a 9 in terms of portability. And then last but certainly not least, is that gonna make you sick on a ride?
I would give this a 5 also.
Okay. I was gonna say this is probably a 7 for me, just because it's a Snickers bar. It's not particularly big or heavy.
This one right here was the perfect example of how you can definitely have too much of a good thing. Snickers, great. Deep frying stuff, also great. But putting those two together just ruined the texture and flavor for us. What you're left with is just a Snickers bar with a whole lot of extra calories. And that was not what we were looking for at the beginning of a day where we're gonna consume 15 of the most caloric items that we've ever set our eyes to. And so with round number 1 done, it was time to hit the first batch of rides to test that all-important barfability factor. But first, Santi and I had to go down a slide like the man-children that we are. Oh, and spoiler, it is all downhill for Santi after this ride, but you'll just have to keep watching for that one.
2 rides down, our stomachs are starting to feel a little iffy. This one should push it over the edge. Let's see. No cell phones allowed, but what is allowed is third-party camera crews that stand outside, so get a good close-up of the face. I have a very strong stomach, though.
I think after the second round of
this is
food
gonna suck.
is when we'll find some trouble.
The second round. We're a 1/4 of the way through.
This is gonna hurt.
This was Santi's idea, by the way.
And this is why you usually gotta save the food after the rides.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
You're planning for
I know
Six
that I
Flags,
can't
but
feel worse
due to rain, we
than I
can go.
did after the energy drink GT Live that we did. The game that was one of the worst moments of my life.
Wow. You say that.
That's his
you say
boss.
that.
It's too early in the day.
It is hour 1.5 at this point.
Good luck.
At this point, I was feeling pretty darn good, but Santi, he was feeling a bit off balance. Oh, you sweet summer child. So with the first round of rides done, it was time to sit back down and have ourselves our
round 2.
snack.
What do you got?
Here we are, fresh off the rides, and how you feeling, Santi?
Burger.
I'm feeling it, man. Just a little bit. Like now that we've had a little bit of time, oh boy.
Yeah, it's interesting. While I was on the ride, I wasn't feeling it, but now that I've had some time to settle off of the rides, I feel a bit uneasy down there, especially the pickle peanut butter. And I don't know how I can tell that that's the one that I feel, but something in my body is telling me like, oh, that's the one that's doing it right now. That was only the first 5. We got another 6 foods all lined up. Gonna wait for this tractor to go past, holding for tractor pull. Good luck, sir. Here we are, we got another 6 lined up. Again, broken down for our lunch here. We've got appetizer of hot Cheetos corn. We have a lot of donuts.
This is the donut round.
We have I'm noticing a lot of donuts here. We've got a donut burger. We've got just teeny donuts. What makes these guys special?
These are Texas Pete donuts. So slathered in Texas Pete sauce.
Okay, great. And we've got a deep fried pie. What is this, a deep fried pumpkin pie? Deep fried pumpkin pie a la mode. Actually, we're gonna start with this one just because everything's melting right now.
Yeah, better move fast. Nom nom.
Spoiler alert about the deep fried pumpkin pie here. It tastes like a pie from McDonald's. Yeah. It's good.
I'm gonna give this a 7, and I'm not a sweets person. It's just very, very good for me.
I'd say also 7. Yeah. Solid. When it comes to portability, I think the
results melting, so that's gonna be low.
Like
so 3.
Yeah. It's practically a 0. And then lastly, is that going to make me sick on our next round of rides coming up here?
So, I don't think so. So this will be a 9.
I would agree. So I think that this is totally safe. I feel good about this. Solid 9. All right, next up on round 2's reverse order, we got Texas Pete donuts. So spicy donuts.
Good luck. Nom.
My palate is like the roller coaster we just rode.
Sickening.
Really?
Do you like this?
I don't hate it. Do I like it? Like is very strong. It's interesting.
Right.
I'm not immediately disgusted by it. It goes from to ooh.
I'm gonna say it goes like to to
Have you ever like me with like there's like cakes down there. It's like Let's go to the, like,
Yes.
This
hold up.
tastes like that taste to me.
I kind of like it. This is so far probably the biggest surprise. What say you, Santi, on the
Okay,
taste scale?
Matt's going high
I'm gonna
with
give this a
taste.
4.
Meanwhile, I disagree.
Tastes-
I'm going to give it a solid 7 from
Seven
a
from that.
portability standpoint.
I'll give this an 8.
Yeah, it's not
I mean,
quite
it's
as
not
seamless as a lot of
melting.
the stick stuff that we saw in round
It's
1.
handheld,
would
so
agree.
I can
8
give it to
feels
it,
about
yeah.
right for this one. And lastly, is this going to make you throw up on a ride?
Absolutely. This is a 2 on that scale.
So that one I'm going to go with maybe a 4.
It shouldn't come as much of a surprise to anyone
Yeah.
that the so-called donut round, it was kind of hit or miss. Aside from Santi and I not agreeing on the Texas Pete donuts, the Crispy Cream Burger was also a surprising disappointment. The Mac and Cheese Bacon Sundae, meanwhile, yeah, you heard that one correctly, the Mac and Cheese Bacon Sundae.
Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy.
Well, we're gonna go with not good on that one. But we weren't gonna let this round go without a surprise contender.
Here, this one might be more up your speed. Santi tends to like himself some healthy food, so this is a fruit.
Sure.
A little pouch of water with a bunch of nerds.
I think. I don't know. Oh. Santi like.
Look at me
Think
eating
Santi's
my
liking.
fruit portion for the day. It's like saying eating French fries is your vegetable. It's nice, it's light, it's packed with flavor. This is almost like an elevated version of like a gusher. This is phenomenal. Everyone's talking about launching humanity to the moon and things like that. No, this right here. Solid win. Taste perspective, I kind of got to give that a 10.
Okay,
Portability?
10 each.
Put it in your pocket, wherever you
10,
want.
there you
You can
go.
put it in your pocket.
I'm gonna sneak
And
out of here with those in
barfability.
my
What do you
pocket.
got?
And then lastly, is this gonna make me sick? No, actually, straight 10s across the
Man,
board.
candy
This
grapes
is the
for the
yardstick
win.
by which
Look at
everything
that.
else will be measured against.
I know that there's
didn't really
still
get a-
more episode to go here
I
and
wonder-
more analysis
did
to
they
be
ever
done.
give a score for the
But
Luther Burger?
man, if this
Which,
episode
again,
is
is
dedicated to
named of it,
figuring
I
out
think.
what is the scientifically perfect fair food, this is it.
There you go.
This is it. That is round 2, ladies and gentlemen, which means that it is time for more rides and more fair excitement.
Oh, God.
You've got a giant pumpkin that you gotta go see.
What?
Oh, buddy.
Pardon?
It is 2,000 pounds and it's gonna blow your mind.
With our stomachs filled to the brim, it was time
Whoa.
to push our limits once again on the Tower Drop and the Gravitron. Needless to say,
Yeah,
this right here
Gravitron.
was not doing Santi's stomach any favors. I was
boy.
feeling pretty good. Santi, though? I guess no amount of refreshing candied grapes was gonna outweigh the Mac and Cheese Bacon Sundae. And in case it wasn't clear what substituted for the ice cream in that quote-unquote sundae, potato, barely cooked potato. Not gonna lie, it's pretty funny how much he was struggling here because this was an episode that he himself pitched. But anyway,
Really?
with that conclusion, we were able to find a nice
Ooh,
quiet
waterside.
spot for
Nice.
our final round of food.
Second round of rides, a bit rougher for Santi.
That was not good.
You were this
You look
close.
like you're about to
I was
die.
watching you. You were doubled over in pain. It was so much fun for me just to ride the ride, but it was made extra special by getting to watch you utterly hate every minute. While we were out, the rest of the team was out
You're
scavenging the
amazing.
remainder of the fair, and we're able to scrounge up 4 other odd,
Okay, 4
interesting
left,
foods.
and
We've got ourselves
the heck is that
this
donut?
beauty right here, the dill pickle donut. Because
Dill pickle
pickles so
donut?
far have been working so well. We've got a turkey leg that is the entirety of a Thanksgiving meal,
Damn.
all in one package.
Big one.
This is a mystery rod, chicken, bacon, ranch, waffle on a stick. If you couldn't have any more adjectives in there, it's great.
What
And then
now?
last, but in this
What
case,
is
we can
that?
start with, this is the Big Mac egg roll.
A Big Mac egg roll.
I did
Sounds-
not expect it to be just a big old pocket of meat.
The most normal thing we've
Is it,
had today
like,
so far.
It almost looks like an
6.5,
egg
7,
roll.
I think is about right.
Like a
Next up,
regular egg
portability.
roll.
I mean, it's
Just
easy
add
to
some
walk
Big
around.
Mac
It's a little
sauce, you
greasy,
got it.
I guess, but I mean, it's not gonna fall apart on you at all. It's very compact.
So,
I'm
high
gonna
score on
give it a
that
9.
one.
Yeah. And lastly, is that going to make you sick on a ride?
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I may be feeling the nausea from before, but I definitely think this wouldn't help.
This is,
Right.
again, one of those like classic fair foods where it's fried, it's heavy, it's full of flavor, but it's also going to be sitting in your stomach for a while.
I'm gonna give it a very low 3, 2.
I would say it's not that bad. I would say this is probably going to be like a 4.5, 4 to 5 right there. So across the board, solid. Don't recommend riding a whole lot of stuff afterward. Next up, we got chicken waffle on a stick covered with bacon and ranch sauce.
Oh yes.
I am
Bacon and
hopeful
ranch
about
sauce
this.
and waffles.
Let's
Okay.
see.
Never had a. Okay. Not breaking apart.
Doing a little dance.
Oh man, Sanjay likes it so much he's dancing.
Savory wise, I think this has been my favorite so far. I'm gonna give it a 9.
10.
This is a flavor
Okay, 9.
combination all in one stick that is risky, and this is either a big win or a big loss, and this is a big win. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 9 there. Portability.
I'll give it a
It's
6 because you're losing a lot of bacon as you're going around.
true.
It is
Yeah.
on a stick. I'll give it a 6, 6.5.
I would agree. You're losing a lot of the special
Bacon,
bacon
yeah.
on top, so 6.5 makes
Whoops.
sense. Lastly, Are you gonna be passing the roller coaster test?
I would give this like a 7 because it isn't the lightest thing, but it's definitely not gonna make you throw up. It feels like a compact meal. Like it's perfect.
Yeah.
I don't think anything's gonna beat those candy grapes.
Not bad. I do like the fact that we selected this very quiet corner of the fair. There's a little lighthouse behind us and stuff. It's very romantic.
Look at us.
Enjoy
Who
your
would have
special
thought?
time, boys.
Before we dip into this
Special time,
one,
boys.
Santi, I think it would be nice if we just took a minute to say something that we're thankful for.
I'm thankful for you, for bringing me along to my first state fair. This was a very unforgettable experience, for better or for worse.
I'm thankful to share this experience with the whole team here. This is so nice.
No, yeah, fine, everybody else. I thought it was a you and me thing here.
I am VOPNG YouTuber Matt Pat. I don't go out in public and do this, but it's nice. It's nice to be able to hang out with the team.
So my question to you,
So anyway.
Forget about them, that's enough of that. Should we use the fork? Oh, yeah.
Oh my god! Oh my god! It's breaking apart!
Oh.
Oh.
I guess I'll follow Santi's lead and eat it in the worst way possible.
Yeah, there you go.
It's
Like a Greek god just being fed grapes. Tell me that's that delicious.
It is. It is delicious.
So there was very little risk taking in the flavors, but because of that, it is the most cohesive thing that we've had today.
Yeah.
Everything just works together really well.
I think that's a fair statement. Yeah, it is the single most cohesive, broadest
Aside from the
item
fact
that
it
we've had.
broke
but
apart.
we know it's a tried and true formula that's absolutely going to work.
Right.
So in terms of
Go on with
taste,
the turkey leg.
Oh man, this is really good. I think this will be my second 10 of the day.
wow,
10,
second
nice.
10.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It's really
He's
good.
sucking the candy
Really
grapes and the
solid.
turkey
I mean,
leg.
it's Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving dinner at the fair, right? So I would say 9. It's not quite there, whereas the grapes surprised me, which I give a little bonus point to. But I mean, definitely top tier, super solid. When it comes to portability, you know, we've already alluded to it. 0. Even if you wanted to lift it up by the bone, it's falling apart. This thing is a mess.
Yeah.
This is one of those dishes that requires you to find like the one lone picnic table that was just abandoned by someone, or a nice quiet spot by the lake with your best co-worker, friend, co-host.
Neutral like looking at you like,
Yeah, there we go. And lastly,
you go.
is this one gonna be up-chucking on the Gravitron?
As long as you're not eating the whole thing, I think this would be like a 9.
Yeah.
This would pass.
Our final item
Okay,
of the day,
the
at least that
dill
we're trying on
pickle
camera.
donuts.
This dill pickle donut. Here we go. One
Good
last
luck.
one for the road.
Okay.
well,
That's not a donut.
I need to lay back and think about this for a second. This is
takes a
not nearly as bad as you think it is. To
I mean,
me,
it's dill
the
pickles.
donut
Makes
is
sense.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Actually, the texture of it is so nice. The flavor of it is not overwhelming at all. It's just a very pleasant sweet bread. So across the board, dill pickle donut, shocking.
Yeah.
Shockingly good. So when it comes to taste,
I'm just eating it from the bottom. It's so good. So I'm gonna give this an 8.
yeah, I
Okay.
think I gotta dock it a little bit for the top, which isn't doing anything for me, so I'm gonna knock it down to a 7. But
Okay,
still,
8, 7.
solid
Cool.
performer. And
Makes
I love
sense.
the donut. Portability.
I mean, I'll give it a 10. Like, it doesn't fall apart. It all sticks together. You can eat it with one hand. It's not falling over itself.
I'm gonna
It's
say,
not
yeah,
bad.
I would actually agree with 10. There's no stickiness to it. There's no greasiness to it. It is all super well held together. It's nice, compact.
It's funny if it just fell
really
apart as
solid.
he just did that.
Lastly,
It'd be
when
like,
it comes to the roller coaster test, am I peeing
9.
this one up?
Absolutely not. I'm
Nope.
gonna give this a 10.
Yeah, this is absorbing everything in your stomach right now. This is literally a sponge for all the grease that I have from that Big Mac egg roll
Damn.
and everything else that we've had today. Like, this is a beautiful sponge that's really
I guess
kind of
he got a palate
neutralizing
cleanser.
everything that came
There you
before.
go,
That
the dill
kind of
pickle
brings us
donut.
to the end of our fair experience. I went into this episode excited, but also like knowing that this was going to be gross. But I think what this has shown me is that it pays to try new things, because at the end of the day, you might discover
You never
a
know
new
what you
flavor
like.
profile, unlike anything you've ever had before, and some that you might just like, might be a newfound favorite. But hey, that's
It's all just a theory.
A food theory. Bon
Bon
appetit.
appetit.
Oh, it's so cute. We also said goodbye too early because we still have to dive in and decide which fair foods are going to come out on top.
you
Now,
did.
we ate our way through too many dishes here to look at them individually, and some were obviously better than others, so we're just going to be taking a look at our top 3 contenders in the flavor and barfability categories. The sushi on a stick from round 1, the candied grapes from round 2, and the Thanksgiving turkey leg from round 3. Although the turkey leg
Okay.
got itself the impressively bad and only 0 in the portability category in the entire competition, the strong showing
going in the other two categories catapulted it to the top over the likes of a donut burger, donuts with hot sauce, and literal venomous snake. To start off with our round 1 winner by a large peanut butter marred margin, the sushi roll. This deep-fried barbecue-coated spam roll was the highlight of my breakfast. A sentence I hope I don't have to repeat anytime before I die. Flavor-wise, it was firing on all cylinders, and we may have been a bit biased considering the weak start that we had right before, but it was really something that everyone here enjoyed. So why then is this one not our clear-cut winner? Well, sure, rice and meat are fairly good for the stomach on the surface, and tempura batter is a better alternative than most other deep-fried batters since it uses less oil. Unfortunately, the dish, it was still fried, and fried foods are heavy in your stomach, and then you coat that with barbecue sauce. It is a recipe for upchucking disaster. The high amount of fat in the deep frying process slows down the stomach, making you feel bloated, even nauseous, especially when you're on rides with questionable safety mechanisms. Then couple that with the high sugar content of the barbecue sauce, which can also lead to increased gas production and bloating, and suddenly the healthy components of this dish are canceled out. The other reason why this early favorite comes up a little bit short is because of the spicy mayo. Hot sauce is a stomach irritant, and mayonnaise is, once again, high in fat, putting the final nail in this delicious coffin. Which leads us then to round 2's winner, the candied grapes. Now, despite candied grapes being far and away one of our favorite flavor and textures of the day, unfortunately, science doesn't agree with us when it comes to crowning these bad boys the fairest of them all. At first glance, grapes seem harmless. Like I mentioned during the tasting, they're mainly water and packed with vitamins and minerals. They're also rich in fiber, so we assume that they wouldn't do anything to upset our stomachs, and if anything,
then comes the candy, which was the nerds, I think, right?
Unfortunately, grapes are high in fructose, a natural sugar that causes gas, which sure seems like more of a problem for the people waiting in line behind you at the rides, but they also contain a lot of tannins. Tannins are naturally occurring chemicals that are found in a grape's skin, seeds, and stems, acting as a defense mechanism against animals and insects. Grapes and other plants have tannins which are quite bitter and deter things from eating the fruit or seeds before they're ripe. Now, if well balanced, tannins can give a pleasant complexity to a flavor, which is why teas, coffees, and wines all make good use of them. However, they're still a natural defense mechanism, and as such cause an excessive release of digestive enzymes in our bodies, which can not only give you nausea, but also diarrhea. I don't know about you, but worrying about barfing is bad enough at the fair. I don't need to think about it coming out the other end as well. Especially at the fair where the bathroom situation is sketchy at best. Either extremely packed or, God forbid, the porta potty. So for that reason, we were left with the Thanksgiving turkey leg. Now, don't get me wrong, this guy is not just the overall winner by default. You see, breaking the dish down into its 3 major components, the turkey, the sweet potato, and the cranberry sauce, we actually have ourselves a truly winning combination. Lean protein, like turkey, helps promote gut health because it helps to maintain a balance of good and bad bacteria in your stomach. Speaking of that stomach, digesting fat is a pretty big chore and can lead to that super full, pukey feeling that you get on rides. So keeping fat content down is going to be the name of the game if you want to avoid vomiting on your next tilt-a-whirl. Turkey happens to be one of the leanest protein choices you're going to get at the fair, so this is going to be one of the smartest choices that you can make, as long as you're avoiding the skin, which tends to have a lot more fat content. Sweet potatoes are arguably the most important element here. You see, part of the reason you get queasy on rides when you go up, down, and all around is because your body's adrenaline release actually causes increased gastric acid production. All that sloshing around and suddenly, well, you know, you get the picture. Carbs like sweet potatoes aid in soaking up that extra acid, keeping your gut balanced and everything inside. Sweet potatoes are also the double whammy of being a fast digesting carbohydrate, so it's less of a load on your vulnerable stomach. The final ingredient, the cranberry sauce, not normally the best choice because cranberries have themselves a fairly high acid content, but that same acid is going to help speed up the digestion of the turkey so that you don't feel overwhelmingly full by the time you strap in for the roller coaster. In total, that combination of all 3 of those components is what makes it the best fair food that you can possibly find. So there you have it, friends. We did it, so you don't have to. We ventured into the unknown. We tried all the scariest fair foods, putting our stomachs through an adventure that we won't soon forget so that we could find the best fair food that'll keep you full and keep you from emptying it all out at once. The next time you find yourself in an amusement park or fair, skip right past the deep-fried peanut butter pickle and opt for the giant Thanksgiving turkey leg. And for dessert, hop into some cotton candied grapes. But hey, if you noticed a stark difference between how well Santi and I handled the rides with all that food, it's probably because of today's sponsor, AG1. He's a little late to the game, but I make sure to drink AG1 every morning to help support my digestion and alleviate some of the bloating that I'm bound to feel from episodes like this one, eating deep-fried pickles with...
Might have to try that sometime. I don't know. I feel like I get bloated sometimes too, but you never know. Well, there you go. Managed to survive the day with a Thanksgiving turkey leg winning. Though, yeah, I guess if you want to start, if you have to eat something before you ride, go with those legs. Because, frankly, your stomach will thank you and you'll feel fuller without having it all barfed out. Huh. Well, learn something new every day. So, thanks for watching, everybody. Till next time, like, subscribe for more, and adios.